Let's move on to question number 3 of the evening from Careful in Kalamazoo.
Ooh, I like that.
Careful says, I am selling a home, lease option to buy. I do not own the home. I too am a tenant, but my landlord gave me an option to purchase as well, just for less than what I can sell it for in today's market. There are some title issues on the property. How do I handle this? Does Careful have any options here? Is this...
Oh my God.
Enlighten me.
Careful.
Can a tenant sell a property with a lease option to buy if they too are in a lease option to buy? I don't know. Can you double dip on that? I have no idea. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, you probably could. You better watch your ass. But yes, and it's all how you structure the deal, and that's definitely creative. I wouldn't want to be doing that because you're kind of in the middle. You'd have to make representations, and you're relying on your own seller to do certain things.
You'd have to get permission.
And you're right. You have to get permission.
Okay.
All the stars have to align, like on that deal. And it's already just doing a regular transaction between two parties is hard enough. Now you really have three parties, right?
Yeah.
And unlike a wholesale deal, you're on the hook really in the middle. You're going to lease with an option. And then you're making representations to somebody else that you're taking money from for that option. Yeah, I think you'd want to be quite careful. And really would be with regards to your representations. I'd like to know what type of title you're able to represent that you're going to convey. I don't want to spend too much time on this one, with all due respect, Blair, because I don't think it's as common as people think, number one. And number two, these type of deals, when you try and straddle a deal like this from like the lease side, I'm going to sublease and then find a buyer and these deals I rarely come to fruition. I'm sorry. I've never seen it. I got it. I've seen it, but they don't happen without some problems. Okay.
Right.
And
will your cash flow be worth your headache?
Why even do it?
Right.
Because what you read somewhere in a book or you saw something on a Facebook group.
Yeah. Probably.
Just do a straight deal, or okay, wholesale it. If you're going to get a deal like that, I would not want to be in the middle of that and like be waiting on that. But maybe, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things can surprise you. When you have to straddle and like sit there and like, here, I'll tell you the first thing I would in that whole deal. Whoever wrote this question, I know that I never talked to this person because I don't think that anybody at my office, probably another associate took it, but if they got to me, I'd be like, you had better make sure you disclose to the end user that you're subleasing this property.
Right.
And that's the first thing I would say. When in doubt, disclose. So that's the number one issue. Disclose to the end buyer. And you already nailed it, which is, do you have permission to even do this with your landlord?
Right. Exactly.
And how do you know your landlord is not going to have some stuff going on? I don't know.
But it also says there's some issues. There are some title issues on the property too, so they're just sprinkling that on as well. So it's not even like, oh, it's free and clear. It's like, no,
it's like a shit sandwich.
But like you said, they probably read or watched something. And I remember being in that phase of when I first learned about creative deal structures and financing. I got really excited about them, and I really looked for them everywhere. And I would get really excited, and then I'd be like, oh, but all of this hassle for like $100 a month, and I did find them, but not quite this creative.
I mean, I've had, the ones that go south, believe it or not. I mean, if you're going to find a deal like that, I mean, my experience is that generally the deals that go south are the ones that the parties, usually the seller, fails to disclose to the buyer. That's the problem with wholesaling, right? Yep. That you don't really, sometimes people don't tell the end user, the buyer.
Right.
And then things blow up. And so it's like in everything in real estate. when in doubt, disclose, right?
Yeah.
When you're selling a home and you're talking about condition and defects of a house, you're not sure if you should disclose. Disclose. When you're doing a deal like the one that this person described, what was the name of him again, or her?
Careful and
Well, they
Kalamazoo.
already know by, oh, well, wait a minute. That's not really their name. Obviously, that was the law clerk
Right.
that started that.
Right.
That is, that is just a train wreck waiting to happen.
I know.
I'm sorry, it's been a long day. I apologize. We're doing this like after already a 9-hour day.
I know.
But that is a train wreck. Now, talk to me on another day. I might say, let's do it.
I don't think so.
But yeah, move on. Let's move on.
All right, moving on.
I don't know if that was the most helpful of answers. But if you're watching and whoever's watching this right now, seriously, like what Blair just said, it sounds like really great, but I'd like to talk to the people who've done these like sandwich type deals, right? I can tell you this past year, I have 2 investors who did something like this, who didn't know each other, 2 different parties in 2 different transactions in 2 different sides of the state. And both of them, both sellers, had issues. One had an issue with the state of Michigan for real estate fraud, and the other just had nothing but problems with the buyer.
Right.
So,
exactly. It is a very creative strategy, Careful, and I like how you're thinking outside of the box, but don't overcomplicate things for yourself. Yeah, don't overcomplicate your things for yourself right out of the gate, or you will get burned out. So look for something nice and pretty and clean.
Spoken like a true teacher.
If you're just getting started.
Right.
Maybe
Very
you should look
encouraging.
elsewhere.
Good for you.
Thanks.
You're much kinder than I am today. Sorry.
Maybe I've had more sleep. Let's move on.